Good evening, everybody. This is your host, Huge Pop, from the Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. With me tonight is Cody Cornett, and our guest tonight is retired professional wrestler, best known for his time in WWE. He trained with under George South and the Italian Stallion before debuting in 1989 under the ring name Mean Mark Canterbury. He gained prominence in WWE during the mid-1990s. He was known for his hog farmer gimmick, which played out on his Southern background. He formed the tag team, the Godwinns, with his family member, Phineas. They were known to be rustic attire and use humorous farm themes. Our guest and Phineas won the tag team in WWE. Our guest tonight, before joining WWE, wrestled for various regional promotions and territories, including Memphis Wrestling. Welcome to the show, Henry O Godwinn. How you doing, my friend? Hello?
Yep, you're there.
All right. Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate your time. And I guess the first thing I need to know is, can you tell us about how you got started in professional wrestling and what inspired you to do what you do? I'm not hearing you.
Oh, Mr. Godwinn, I think we have a audio communication here. He has a full. Let me see if I can't kick him. Kick that one from studio. Scott, can you kick the empty Henry Godwinn, please? Thank you.
Are you there now?
You there?
There you go.
Yep, we can hear you now.
Awesome, man. I don't know if you heard anything I said.
A little bit.
Live TV, folks.
All right. Welcome to the show, Henry O Godwinn. So, can you tell us how you got into the business and what inspired you?
Yeah, when I was young, my grandfather got me into watching it, and I wrestled in high school, and I've always liked the sport. And I met George South and Italian Stallion, and they trained me for a couple of years, and then I started going to WCW, and that's how it all started.
So when you were in that WCW, that's where it's Shanghai, right? Is that WCW?
That's right. Yeah, Tex and Shanghai.
And then this is a picture, I believe, of you maybe in WCW.
That's it. Yeah.
I was getting ready for the interview, and I have a friend that I watched in independent wrestling over down in Panama City Beach, Florida here, Damian Wayne. I don't know if you've heard the name.
Oh, yeah.
But he just told me, he goes, you gave permission to his trainer to use the gimmick once you were done with it. Is that true?
One of the guys I know, Brandon Bailey, he's doing it.
Okay, that might be his trainer, so I have no idea. But he told me that you're a good guy, and now he sent me that picture, so I had to put it up there. So
he even bought my Shanghai boots, the black and red ones that had the state of Texas outlined on.
Oh, wow.
He's got them, yeah.
That's awesome.
So I have a question about the Shanghai gimmick. It is rumored that Dusty Rhodes put you under the mask because he was afraid that your good-looking manner would be too hard to keep you a heel, so they put you under the hood.
That's true. Our gimmick come about because Dusty loved old westerns.
Yep.
And he watched Gunfight at OK Corral, and Tex Schlesinger and Shanghai Pierce were cattlemen in the movie. So that's where our gimmick come up with. But yeah, Dusty come up with all that, Barry Windham and Mike Graham. But Dusty was the main source of that. And he said, I had a baby face, and he said Tex was ugly enough. He didn't need a mask.
So before we move on from WCW, I know that between the years of 92 and 94, they had a bunch of different head honcho changes between Jim Herd, Bill Watts, so on and so forth. What were your experiences with each, and if there was any, and what was your experiences with the Booker at the time?
Well, I tell you how I was going down with George and Stout being an extra. I think my first person to work down there was PN News. And I worked Ron Simmons, and I worked Elegante and a couple other people. And then I worked Cowboy Bill Watts come in and took over. And Eric Watts had just graduated from Louisville playing football. So he got in the business. He was green. And I'd only had 2.5 years of experience. But we had a hell of a match at Center Stage in Atlanta. And Jody Hamilton and somebody else come up to me and asked me if I'd go on the road sometime and work Eric, and I said yeah, and they go, well, can you go tonight? So
that night.
So they wanted me to go that night. Yeah. So man, I'm flipping out, and I got to do it. Hell.
Right, of course.
And so I didn't have any clothes with me. So Arn and Stal, because I rode with Arn, jumped in the car with Arn that night. I was green. I didn't know these guys, and I was scared as shit. But I made the right decision. I went. Arn give me, I think, a pair of Zubaz. The Stal give me some clothes, and I went on the road for a week and rode with Arn a couple of nights, and then I got in the car with Harley Race driving, Hercules Hernandez in the front seat, and Mia Barbarian in the back seat. So
that's a who's who. Jeez.
That'd been less than 3 years, and I'm in the car with 100 years of talent.
Exactly.
Wow.
Like, what better way to learn? Damn.
Yeah.
Right.
I roomed with Barbie that night. Of course, I went out drinking with them three, which is my first damn mistake. Because Barbie ended up helping me to the room, and me and him roomed together that night. And I was a young kid, been in the business less than 3 years, scared shitless. Right. But that was a good experience being with them. And
wow,
poor Harley, he was driving, and we were in Texas. Oof. And just the road is straight as far as you can see it. This is night. And he's got his cooler. We're in a minivan. He's got his cooler in the back. He says, "Kid, when you hear this," and he crunch a can, throw it out the window. He says, "I want to hear." Psh. He wanted another one open. So I had to keep. I forgot the first time, but I didn't forget no more after that.
I bet you didn't. Wow. That's like Cody just said. Holy cow! To be 3 years in the business and riding in a car with legends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me. So I guess I asked this question a lot. How important when you were in the car was it for you to listen to what they had to say and the advice that they would give?
Well, that's what George South told me when I looked like I was getting my break. He said, "Just listen, be humble, and be respectful, and you'll learn all you need to learn." And I just, I give respect and I want respect back. That's just how I was raised, how I was trained and everything else. So, I just shut my mouth and listened and watched and learned that way, which helped a lot being around, Wyndham. And, when me and Phineas finally got together, when Dusty put us together, we started riding with Barry Wyndham. He took us under his wing, and
oh, wow.
It was very helpful to me and Tex, and he was a lot of help to us, and so we got a lot of history with Barry.
Awesome. So now, did Vince McMahon, did he create the character? Did he come up with the character idea of Henry Godwinn, the farmer?
Yeah, Flair come back out of retirement in like '94, and me and Hunter and Phineas got let go from WCW, which was a blessing in disguise. Because it was fun down there. It was a learning experience, but
right.
I was telling somebody the other day, when I went to WWF, it was more of an opportunity. It felt more like the boys were all there to help each other, and like it was just night and day, because
Right.
Vince was promoting young guys and they were keeping the old guys in WCW. So
Yep.
it was, WCW was fun, a good learning experience, but my knowledge and everything really kicked in after I got to WWF in opportunities.
So you said you got the first call at night and told you wanted you there that night. Now, did Vince just drop this gimmick on you guys the day before a show, or did he give you some time to?
Oh no! Well, when we got let go from WCW, I was off maybe 4 weeks, and Harley and Kevin Nash spoke for me up north. So the office up there called me at home, flew me up to the office in Connecticut, and I went and met with J.J. Dillon and Vince for about 3.5 hours.
Wow.
And by the time I left, we had the name down, and we had talked over, sort of what I was going to wear. And just to throw this in, I cleaned the building out here at my house the other day and found this. I got to show you guys this. This is the original drawing.
Oh my God.
Wow.
It says character development and costume design for Mark Canterbury. And then that's what they come up with.
Oh my God. That is awesome.
Yeah. So I found that it's dated. It's got the artist name and it says 1094.
That's sick.
Wow. That is a piece of history right there.
Yeah. I've already been offered like $1,200 for it.
That's awesome, man.
Damn. That is really cool. But yeah, just the original. So when they told you your name was going to be Henry Orpheus Godwinn or Henry O Godwinn, did you already put it together that the initials spelled hog? Or
no,
like
I did before I left that day, but I just, because Vince gave me the name Orpheus because it was somebody in his family was named that. I don't know if it's I can't remember his granddad or uncle or somebody, but that's how I got that name, from somebody in his family. And he come up with the Henry and the Godwinn, and then he threw the Orpheus in there. So he was already thinking that day what he wanted.
Now, did Vince say your nickname or your initials will spell hog, or was it something that he came up with like that, or was it just one big coinky dink that it spelled hog?
Right off the bat, he come up with it.
Okay.
That's just the way Vince was. Just like everything like that just clicked.
Wow.
That's crazy. So,
and then, of course, when Phineas, a year later, Phineas come up, well, they wanted Phineas spelled PH, and we called him Ike. I named him Ike Godwinn. So
that's awesome.
It was cutesy.
friendly, like we call it.
Yeah, we call it friendly here.
So was everything always roses and rainbows with Triple H and you? Did you guys get along all the time?
Oh my God, we kickstarted each other's career. People told us that. After the hog pen, we were married together for like 6 months, and over here in Europe a lot. And poor Hunter got slopped every night, so he had to wash his damn stuff out every night and hang it up in the hotel. I'd get it all over me, but we had the best chemistry together. I think it was just so much fun, and we were all friends, back then, and just enjoyed each other's company. And me and Phineas rode a lot with him in China, and rode a lot with Kevin in WCW and a little in WWF. So yeah, it was a good crew back then, man.
So before the feud with Hunter, you had debuted as an assistant or some sort of help for the $1 Million Corporation. It only lasted several occasions though until you slopped DiBiase after an episode of Action Zone.
Yeah.
Was there a real plan of you staying with the corporation, or was it just Vince wanted you to put you with a heel group and then you just became a babyface?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I never really found out. I thought I was going to be part of the stable for a while, and then I guess that's when I really turned babyface. Then is when slopping him, and then I slopped Sid, and then me and Sid had the match at the pay per view, I think, in your house, and then slopped DiBiase for the third and last time at that during the Sid match. And then Bam Bam had run down to the ring and tried to help me because it was Sid and I think Tatanka and Kama, Godfather, all down there.
Okay.
So you mentioned the bucket, the slop, right?
Oh God.
Let's get the elephant out of the room, right?
Yeah.
Who came up with the slop and what was in that bucket? And yeah.
Well, the slop was my suggestion, and Vince loved it. So, and the only thing left on my so-called bucket list would be to slop Vince. I know that'll never happen now, but
yeah,
and that would have been so nice.
Now, okay, you don't have to get into it. There's a whole bunch of rumors and a story that has been on Vice TV from Dark Side of the Ring with Sunny.
Oh yeah.
Just to clear the record, because Vice is Vice, they have their own way of telling stories.
Yeah.
And Jim Cornette, said that he was there. He just saw the. Say again?
It was pretty accurate.
Oh, okay. So if he's accurate, like, I don't want to. I'm trying to stay as professional as I can here because I don't want to say what was in the slot bucket. If you want to go check it out, go look up the clip on Vice from Jim Cornette. He'll tell you what was in it.
Or I can tell you now.
Yeah,
go ahead.
All right. Well, we came to TV that day. We were having our little quarrel with Skip and Zip and Sunny.
Mm-hmm.
And Vince, as soon as we walked in, I think it was Pat Patterson and maybe Bruce Pritchard said, y'all are going to slop Sunny tonight. So I was like, hell yeah, that'll be fun. So we went to the locker room. I got the bucket. We went to catering and had, our dinner. And then I made, about half of the bucket, maybe not even half of the bucket full. I never put a whole lot. And, just my regular stuff, lettuce, rice, or milk and bread was always a good sticker, little oatmeal or something. And we ate. I made it. We went back to the locker room, and we had to go. So we go over the match, and so before I left, I said, Sonny's getting slop with this tonight. Nobody mess with this. And I set it down, and we went over the match. Well, a couple hours, come back, and the bucket was almost to the top, full. So I heard, through the grapevine what had happened, that two little sneakers got the bucket, went in the bathroom, and and the boys were dipping and spitting and
Jesus.
Like Cornette said, I think he said there was like 23 different DNAs in the bucket.
Yeah, so. That's what that was a high number, he said.
Wow.
So actually I had to pour a little bit out before I took it to the ring. I didn't want it on me.
So you fully knew what was in this bucket before you went to the ring?
Well, I didn't until I got informed, and catering was put down, so I couldn't go make new slop. So
on the subject of Sunny, geez, wow, that sucks for her. I mean, she's in a lot worse situation now, but like still, that sucks.
Yeah, I would take slop every night to trade with her where she is now.
Good right, Lord. Exactly. But speaking of Sunny, was she? Cornette has always called her an upfront "see you next Tuesday." She was always upfront about how she was. But was she easy to be around with if you were her friend?
It depends on who was around.
Okay.
At times she could be pleasant. At the building, she could be a douchebag. So it just, it's just the way she was. That was her, and I'm not saying anything any of the other boys from that era that knew her would say. They wouldn't say anything different than what I said. She was sneaky and she was hard to work with, but sometimes she could be pleasant. And the magazine that come out right after that was one of the top selling magazines. And
Yeah.
actually, we were at the gathering in Charlotte last month, me and Phineas, and somebody had bought two magazines in, two different people that already had Sunny sign it. So
Oh my God.
they were tickled to death when me and Phineas. So there's a triple signing on the cover of that magazine, and they said it was worth a lot if they could get the triple on there. So
that's fun.
Yeah, so we signed two last month, the triple signing. So
wow,
I'm thinking about putting $100 on her books and sending her a magazine and see if she'll sign mine.
There you go.
I mean, that's the deal.
That is.
Sounds like a good deal with me, honestly.
Because I got the magazine right over here. Me and Phineas has already signed. I just need her John Hancock right in the middle.
Jeez.
Wow. So there was a story. Is there a story regarding Savio Vega and the Kliq and an airplane ride to towards WWE? So can you elaborate on that story?
Oh yeah, we were going. I think that was the India or the South African tour. It may have been the India tour because we were in one of them big planes where you go up the spiral stairs and there's like 30 seats up there, 40 seats. And that's where all the boys were. And then there was like 6 civilians that had to sit with all the boys. And I know they were in torture because there was all kinds of ribbon going on that night and drinking. And, you're on like an 18-hour flight. There's a lot of time. And Savio had fell asleep. And Razor and Kid had marked his face up with a permanent marker. So when he woke up, went to the bathroom, he seen it, and he was hot. So
as one would be, yes.
Kid and Razor made the mistake of falling asleep, and Savio clipped a lot of long curls out of her hair.
Oh no!
That was laying over the seat because they were sitting in front of him. So Savio went and clipped some of their hair off. So it was.
Oh my God in heaven!
Out 5. The boys being boys.
That's an awesome story, man. Cody.
Yeah.
So later on, after the whole Sunny thing in '97, you have already become a 2-time tag team champion after defeating both. What is it? The Bonnie Donnas and the Headbangers. You guys go into a feud with the Legion of Doom in '97, and an infamous moment on Monday Night Raw where you are up for the Doomsday Device. It happens, and bad day at the office. A cracked C7 vertebrae, and you were advertised by doctors. It says for 15 weeks, but you returned in less than 2 months. So
I returned in 6.5 weeks. I was back on the road, and Vince had a trainer with me. We called him Coach. He was a trainer. So he would work on me every night. And I wrestled for 7 weeks with a cracked C7. And finally I got to where I couldn't do it no more. I was losing strength in my arm, and we were supposed to win the belts the night Vince sent me home to get this taken care of from Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, badass Billy Gunn at the time.
Oh wow!
Because we were Southern Justice when I come off the road. We had done switched over to Southern Justice, and we were with Jeff Jarrett, and we were supposed to get the belts that night in September for the third time on Raw. And they wanted me to go home and get this taken care of. So they didn't want to put the belts on us with me going home. So that was it.
Well, my question was there any heat towards Hawk or Animal? Was there any heat between the four of you? Anything animosity wise, or was it just, like I said, another bad day at the office?
Well, I knew Hawk wasn't in his right mind at TV, and that's why I didn't want to do it. So I told the office, I don't feel comfortable doing it. Phineas spoke up, said he would do it. He's taken it before, knowing that Hawk wasn't in his right mind, and I didn't stooge him out. I think me and Animal suggested that we go down as one, like the electric chair.
Mm-hmm.
And the office said they wanted the flip. So sure enough, I did it and broke my damn neck. And I called it before I went out there.
So you said you were supposed to win the titles from Road Dogg and Billy Gunn when you were Southern Justice with Jeff Jarrett. Was there a plan involved for Jeff Jarrett to get back, like, either the European title or the IC title, and you three have just all the gold with Tennessee Lee?
I don't know, because we never got, it got put on hold. So I don't know what they had planned, but Robert Fuller was our Colonel Parker.
Yep.
He managed us for a little while. And then Jeff Jarrett come and managed us. And that's when we shaved Finkel's head in the middle of the ring. And years later, when I went back in 06 and 07 for a little while, he said, "Mark, I want to thank you all." He says, "I never grew my hair back after that." So he loved the shaved look. So we did something right.
So he had several interactions with the Undertaker, good enough where he wanted you guys to be at his Fairwell Survivor Series tour in 2020. So before that, Undertaker used you guys to get at Ultimate Warrior. I read that.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
When Warrior come back, he never wanted to dress with the boys. So we were walking around one night, and we went in this little room, and he was in like a little tiny, like the size of a closet almost. And and Taker said, "Yeah, he's always been like that. He likes to dress in weird places." So Taker said, "Y'all get your stuff and go and dress with him."
Taker ribbed Jim Hellwig. Oh my God.
So it was like for a whole week, Taker would go, when we get to this building or something, he'd go, Did you all find Warrior? Yeah. So we would go, and we went and got our bags and went in there and took a chair and sat and said, "Hey," and he said, "Hey," and that's all. We just started dressing, and he just sat there, and then he got up and went out. But
oh my God. So this is
we did that for
96.
about a week.
Yeah, this is 96 when Ultimate Warrior is back from WrestleMania to King of the Ring, and then he's gone. Yeah. And you guys are just screwing with him because Mark Calloway, the Undertaker, the godfather, no pun intended, of the locker room, is like, "Go screw with him."
Yeah, he said, "Did y'all find Warrior yet?"
What was Jim Hellwig, the Ultimate Warrior, tough to deal with in that time period that you were with him?
He seemed all right. I mean, we wasn't around him much. He come in, then he was gone, and
right.
But we never worked with him, so I can't really comment on any of that. But he seemed all right.
So it must have been an honor to be asked by the Undertaker to come back in 2020.
Oh yeah, we were heavy into BSK then, so.
Yeah. So you brought up BSK. There was also the Kliq. Were you two at odds? Was there mafia in war fighting, or was it like you guys all just sat together, played dominoes, and just did your thing?
Well, that's how the name got put out and everything, because we were hanging around. The BSK was hanging around a little anyway. It was, me and Taker and Godfather and Sabio and Fatu and Yoko, and then sometimes Brian Crush would hang with us, and so it was. And then we played dominoes at the building, and Yoko and Taker come up with the Bone Street Crew, and I still remember we went into a bar one night and walked in, and Yoko and his big voice said, BSK in the house, bitches. And that's how it all started one night.
Nice.
Oh gosh. So Yokozuna, obviously the cat's out of the bag, everybody. We all know he's Samoan, but he played a Japanese sumo wrestler. But what were you ever in the ring with him? And was he as athletic and have the cat-like agility that everybody says he does as a big man?
Yoko, that was a hard loss. That was a hard hit, because he was such a big teddy bear and a good guy. I mean, he tried, he could be hard, but he was just a big kid. His smile and laugh would light the room up. And so that one was a hard one, because before Phineas come up, if we were out on the West Coast, he would invite me to come to his house. I mean, I've stayed at his house probably 4 or 5 times. And
wow.
Yeah, me and Yoko got to work 2 times, and it was on the India tour.
Oh, wow.
And I got to tell this story. The first night we worked, there was like 100 and some thousand people in outdoor Gandhi Arena. And so it's hot as Hades, and their ring is set up, and there's 4 poles, one in each corner, and it's got like a spotlight down on the ring. So
it
it's
makes
hot,
it even hotter.
right? And you can see the first couple rows, and then the glare from the light. There was 100 and some thousand, like 140 or 50,000 people in outdoor Gandhi Arena. And me and him were getting ready to lock up. And there's bugs flying around that are this big that we've never seen before. Nothing like it over there.
Yeah.
So here's Big Rod, Yoko, selling these bugs landing on him, and he's freaking out. But yeah, we had a couple matches over there, and he was easy to work with. And I mean, he was 600 pounds then, but damn, he could still move and bumped and everything.
Jeez.
Well, you mentioned Yokozuna, and I'm going to have a chance to interview Samu in October and talk to Alpha and Vertigo Rivera. Did you have any interactions, any matches with the head shrinkers, Alpha and Samu? Did you get no interactions? Okay.
Just meeting them and going. I think we went to the school in Pennsylvania, signed the wall up there, and when they had the school. But yeah, the only time I think I worked with Fatu, I mean, we hung out all the time, but I don't think we ever worked each other. And the only time we worked together was in the Survivor Series with Taker, when he wore the Phantom of the Opera mask.
So you had a good friendship with China, and there was a pretty tragic moment in your life with this car accident that you survived. Thank God you survived it.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that, or is that something you would rather not talk?
Oh no, it's fine. Yeah. Well, I was doing some independent shows when this happened. And the week after my wreck, I was supposed to go to Charleston and pick China up, because she was going to fly in for a show we were doing here in West Virginia. Because me and her had been on a signing a few months before that. And she'd give me her number, and we kept in contact. And then I had the wreck. And but China, yeah, she was a sweetheart, hard worker. I know she got off track there for a while, but she was dedicated and strong and just a good friend and nice to be around.
Awesome. Cody?
Good. You had mentioned before that you came back into the WWE in about roughly 2006, and you were there until about a little after 2007. What was the role that you were there for? Was it to be a developmental coach down in Deep South, where you were for the most of the year, or were you also like a travel agent, or not travel agent, but a road agent, or anything
No,
of that nature?
they had put Terry Gordy's boy with me.
Don Gordy or Ray Gordy?
Yeah, and Ray, yeah. And they were they were trying to do something there, and he was a good kid. It just didn't work. The chemistry wasn't there, and different eras.
Right.
Me and Phineas been together for 32 years and never had a crossword, and everybody says we're like the one percenters because a lot of tag teams don't get along.
That's like you, Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, Hardys.
Yeah,
Um, that's all I can name off the top of my head that either don't have a partner that's already passed away or both are passed away.
right.
Yeah, but fun fact: Ray Gordy and Drew Hawkinson became the Gemini twins that were managed by Simon Dean on SmackDown in the mid '06 era.
Yeah,
So
after I left, yeah.
yeah.
So I got
And
when I doing interviews, I throw in some random shoot questions. So
oh boy,
fun.
here we go.
These are fun. I want to just give me your shoot answer. So favorite food?
Lobster.
Ooh.
Okay.
I just had my first lobster 2 weeks ago, and it was really good. Do you eat the inside of like the body of the lobster, like the green egg caviar type stuff?
You can, yeah, like the crab, the good crabs. I eat
Yeah.
all stuff inside. Yeah.
Okay.
I just got back to North Myrtle. Me and the wife. So I ate a lot of lobster this weekend.
Nice. So if you had pizza, does pineapple belong on pizza?
Answer's no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Wow.
here's a question that Cody will love.
Oh,
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
It is legally recognized by a state. I gotta find out now. Now I'm gonna find out since I have my computer in front
You
of me.
think hot dog is a sandwich?
I think it could be.
Okay. All right. If you were a candy bar, what candy bar would you be?
Oh, this is easy. Oh, Henry.
There you go.
Hey, I signed a lot of O. Henry bars over the years.
Yeah, nice. What is the one thing fans may not know about you?
Oh, I don't know. I guess as many of these podcasts, and I just did Taker's podcast. I think mine comes out Sunday. They're going to know a lot about me.
There you go. How many donuts can you eat in one sitting?
Back in the day, I could eat 6 or 7. Now, maybe 1.
Do you believe in superstitions?
That's yay, nay.
Okay, let's give a couple examples. If you spill salt on the table, do you throw it over your shoulder?
No.
Okay, if you break a mirror, do you think you're going to have 7 years bad luck?
No.
That's got my attention sometimes, but I don't work. I'm on my 8th life now, so
there you go.
After my wreck and everything else.
Also, before we move on, I just found out it's in Fort Wayne, Indiana. They recognize legally that tacos are a sandwich. So I'm going to say hot dogs are a sandwich. And the reason that it's legally recognized, it involves a zoning issue between the developer and the local government agency.
Oh, my God. Yeah. I'm going to say a sandwich then.
There you go. What's the craziest thing you've ever done?
You got a couple days? Oh my God. Oh God. Oh, I can tell you one story.
Okay.
me and Undertaker and Phineas were in Tampa after a show, and Phineas gave us all three these little pieces of paper and said, "Put that under your tongue." So we did that, and then I had to go to the car. You're going to hear about this on a podcast, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you. So we started feeling funny, and I had to go outside. And Florida's got all these frogs that jump around, and some of them are poisonous. I heard.
Oh Lord!
But so I was going to go to the car, and I never made it to the car. I ran back in the room because the frogs were everywhere.
Okay, I have a quick question about Taker, and like I know you guys like would pull pranks all together. I can't remember exactly who all was around, but Paul Bearer was around, and a couple of the BSK guys were around. Someone put cucumbers in the bottom of his water glass. Does he have a? It's not a fear. He just doesn't like them. Like, is it like that bad? He doesn't like them.
They literally make him gag and throw up.
Really?
And when I I rode with Jeff Jarrett for a while when I went to WWF, and then him and Road Dogg rode some, and then I started riding with Taker. Asked me one night, he said, "Hey," because I didn't have a ride or something, and he goes, "You jump in with me and Paul." Well, Paul didn't talk to Mark for like 3 days because Paul wanted it always to be just them two.
Mm-hmm.
So I jumped in, and that's how I started riding with them two. But I don't know, it was maybe a week or two after we were at TV, and now I'm hanging around with Taker and Paul all the time, and Yoko, and so me and Paul go up and get our food at catering, and Taker is getting his, and he goes sits down. Well, I make my plate, and I'd already got my drink and put it on the table and salad. And Paul goes, "Oh, I got my drink and my plate. Can you take this plate of cucumbers over to the table?" He said, "Taker loves them." So here my dumb ass goes over with my plate and a big plate of cucumbers. Sat down. I tell Taker, I said, "Here's your cucumbers," and he goes, "Ugh." So Mr. Polly Bridges set me.
So on his podcast, he was getting like not offended, but upset that people were saying he's scared of cucumbers, and that like cucumbers should have beaten the streak or something like that. And I'm like, he's like, "No, I'm not scared of cucumbers. I just don't like them. I just don't like them."
They make it. My dad was the same way. We tried to sneak cucumbers in on him, a little piece, and he would find it. So I understand what Taker's saying, because he told me he had a bad experience with them, I think, when he was young. So yeah, they make him sick. He really doesn't like them.
Jeez, the one thing that can stop the dead man. Go figure.
Those cucumbers. I got two in my room. I got two in my refrigerator. I'll send them to him.
Throw a cucumber on him and he'll just crumble.
There you go. So I got one last question on that. Random questions. Do you have a secret talent that no one knows about? That if you say it, people don't know about it. A secret talent.
Talent.
Yeah.
Oh God. I don't know. They called me HBL for some reason. I don't know why, but Hillbilly Lover. Maybe that's a hidden talent.
All right. Okay.
So I would be remiss if I didn't ask. You were involved in one of the more infamous, I wouldn't say storylines because it wasn't a storyline, more one of the infamous gimmicks of all time during the Attitude Era, the Brawl for All.
Yeah.
What? I saw the Vice thing. I still to this day can't understand why Vince Russo did something so stupid. But what was it? How is it pitched to you?
You just answered your own question and told everybody. Vince Russo.
Right, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, how was Vince the one? Like, not McMahon, but was Russo the one that pitched it to you, or was it someone else?
It was I think it was Russo and Pritchard, because Vince Russo wanted to do this because he hated Bradshaw. But yeah, see, I just had sinus surgery done, and they kept talking me into it, saying they wanted me to do it. And so when me and Bradshaw fought, we connected with each other a few times. His nose was bleeding, and he had hit me right here, and my face was numb from that surgery I just had. But he popped me, and my face was numb for like 4 weeks. So, but that was hard on the boys. That whole thing,
I was going to say, did you agree? Do you agree? Like, looking back at it now, do you agree that was something that could have been stopped?
Oh, it should have been stopped, because Dr. Death, they thought Dr. Death was going to beat everybody's ass, and he ended up getting knocked out. So
by Bart Gunn of all people.
So that was who they were hoping would win, and it wasn't rigged at all, because people were getting knocked out. I mean, that hurt some of the boys' careers, I think.
So stupid too. Like, why? Like, I get why Vince did it, because he wanted to prove something to Bradshaw, but like, you're doing nothing for no one, and then you end up having this stupid random brawl for all match at the end of WrestleMania, or in the middle of WrestleMania 15 with Butterbean, and it doesn't go a full round.
Yeah, that was horrible. And then Bart got served up to Butterbean. That was all a horrible thing.
Oh Lord, like you went through the New Generation era and part of the Attitude Era, and I feel like you were used better in the New Generation era with Hunter and the tag team scene with the Donnie Body Donnas, the New Age Outlaws, the Headbangers, everybody that came in.
There was a lot of good tag team. I mean, tag teams were hot back then. You had the Blackjacks, you had the Headbangers, you had LaFon and
oh yeah, Team Technin 2000 or whatever they were, LaFon and LaShawn or something like that.
Yeah, and then you the Headbangers, and it was just a good group of guys. I mean, there was a lot of talent up there, man.
So would you say that back in the day, tag team wrestling was a lot better than what it is today?
I think so.
There was a heavier focus back then.
Yeah.
We would be probably disrespectful.
We were all a lot bigger too.
Yeah. We'd probably be disrespectful if we didn't talk about Hillbilly Jim and Cletus.
Yeah.
I mean, can we talk about that? Can we talk about your relationship with Hillbilly Jim, Cletus, and how that gimmick and all that worked together?
Well, of course, Hillbilly Jim was a special guest referee in mine and Hunter's hog pin match.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, they finally, after a year, brought Phineas up. He was in Memphis at the time, and they brought him up and put us together, and we picked up right where we left off, man. So, and Hillbilly was great to work with. We learned a lot with Hillbilly, and he was our mouthpiece while we could be goofy and play with the pigs. And then, after a while, after Broke the Neck and everything, he didn't want to be part of the heel scene. So they took him away from us and brought in Uncle Cletus / Dirty White Boys / TL Hopper. And I just talked to him the other day. He called me the other day, and we're trying to get a signing where it'd be me and Phineas and Uncle Cletus. And I talked to Hillbilly not too long, 3 or 4 months ago, and he doesn't do signings. He's like a grumpy old man now. And, but he did say he would do one more with us, whether or not he does it. I know a lot of guys, a few promoters want to do it. So it would be fun for us three to reunite and get together again. And so we'll see what happens.
So
and speaking, he was, Dirty White Boy, Tony Anthony. Mm-hmm. He's a big clown country boy too. So we all got along, and course, we dropped the belts to the Road Warriors, and
Yep.
then they got rid of Uncle Cletus, and then we went to Southern Justice. So, but they were ready to really go run with Southern Justice. It was
So I have to ask before I forget, and I have a steel trap mind. What was your opinion when Phineas got turned into Midian and then got turned into Naked Midian?
well, of course, I was off the road, and I wouldn't have done it, but he's crazy enough to do it, so it worked out good for him. He didn't, he didn't give a rat's ass about it. He just did it, and then that was the end of it. But it was funny. It was good for him. If you know Phineas at all, it was good for him. I wouldn't have done it, but that's what makes the world go around. We're all different, but we're all the same at the same time. So
that's right. That's right. So, as a legend, what kind of advice would you give an up and coming person to get into the wrestling business, coming from a legend like yourself?
I don't even know if they'd listen to us now. It's so different. I would say work hard, train, stay focused, shut your damn mouth and listen and respect who's paved the way. But, everything's changed now. So I don't know if they'll take that advice or if they know it all or whatever. But that's how I learned.
When you go to like different signings or when you were in indie promotions, were there young guys coming up to you saying, "Hey, would you watch my match or give me critiques or stuff like that?"
And that's because I like watching people's matches. Because where they stand and if they're going to go anywhere. So yeah, I've seen a lot of good young guys and girls over the years doing the independent stuff. But yeah, that's what it's about. It's about helping somebody out, passing the damn torch, and that's sort of the way WWF was when I went in there. It was like, especially when the BSK got, because we used to talk, we used to go, throw suggestions at each other about matches and what to do, and it was like, it's a brotherhood. We helped each other out.
Right.
We weren't in the ring or the locker room. We were out somewhere together. So it was just, that was just our group, and we helped each other out and cared about each other.
Absolutely. And Adrian Whisper is a promoter here in Panama City Beach of Extreme Impact XIW Wrestling. He says it right here. That's why I'm on here, so I can listen to his knowledge. I'm a sponge. So a man in the business knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So
soak it up, man.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask, do you watch the current product now, either WWE, AEW, Impact, TNA, any of those promotions that you watch currently, if at all?
Every once in a while, I'll channel surf and see a little bit. Like I was with Dustin on a couple signings here recently, and it's always good seeing him because we go back to the beginning, the WCW. Mm-hmm. We used to go out to his house, him and Terry's house when they were together, and and Dusty would come over and we could sit under the learning tree, and Pee Wee Anderson would come over and we'd cook out. And so it was a good time. And we even down there, Stone Cold lived about an hour from us, so he would have me and Tex down sometimes to his house when he was with Jeannie when they were together. So yeah, we got to do some cool stuff. Look where Steve is now. We used to go to his house, just me and him and Phineas and Jeannie, and cook out. But yeah, I was telling somebody the other day, there was WCW run a team and a B team. Well, here was our B team. Me and Tex in Shanghai, me and Phineas,
mm-hmm.
Steve Regal, Brian Pillman, Dustin Rhodes, Steve Regal, Steve Austin. That was the B team.
B team. Holy cow. That's a hell of a B team.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
Bagwell and Scorpio were on them because we worked them a lot.
Wow.
Was Buff Bagwell easy to work with? I've heard different stories across the board from everyone.
When he was on, I loved working with him. And we worked him at Beach Blast.
Okay.
93 maybe 92 or 93 Beach Blast.
I think it was 90.
We worked him in Too Cold Scorpio, and Blackjack Mulligan was our agent on that match.
Oh,
And we had a hell of a match with them at that Beach Blast.
that's
So
cool.
there was a good match. Go watch that.
Wow. Did you ever work Hulk Hogan?
Nope.
Did you ever want to work Hulk Hogan?
Nah. It would have been okay, but yeah.
I'm sorry. After what I heard from Jesse Ventura, I can't stand the guy now. I know what he's done for the business. Can't stand him. Oh
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that feel that way. They may not say it, but they do.
Oh, our buddy, well, his brother Matt, my buddy Matt, he's asking, who is your favorite guy to work with and why?
Oh my God. Well, I loved working with Hunter. We just clicked, man. And even from the beginning, I mean, we worked each other for like 6 months, but
yeah,
from the beginning, we just hit it off, and it was very comforting and satisfying. And after the hog pen match that night, we came back, and Vince brought us into his office and said, "That was a hell of a match, boys. Y'all pulled it off." Because I thought a lot of the boys and a lot of people thought it was going to be a ha-ha match, but neither one of us could barely walk the next day because, taking bumps on the concrete floor. And then I cut his back open. He got 15 stitches that night. So I always told him I scarred him for life. So literally, yeah.
I have a question about the hog pen match. Was that an actual like hog pen, or was it like, how WWE does their special effects, like just mud and water?
No, those things were in that pen. They built that pen real quick. And then those hogs come in. A farmer brought them in that day. And I think they put like maybe a little dirt or sawdust. The rest was pee and shit.
So you cut Hunter's back open. You're giving him backdrops and body slams and shit and piss.
Yeah.
Dysentery should be a thing.
We didn't know his back was cut because he gated me first, and I hit, I was 3 1/4 then. I hit that fence and just buckled it. So when I threw him into it, it had those sharp edges, and it just sliced him open. And we didn't know it till after the match, and because I pressed him, and slammed him in that stuff, and then we were afraid he was going to come up with some weird swine disease.
Right.
But yeah, they cleaned it and stitched it, and he was good. We were just afraid he might get staph or something, but he was okay.
How do you even ask that question, Cody? Because knowing now what was in that bucket.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, but knowing what's in the bucket, that's fine. But what I'm saying is that WWE does their own little magic, and they, they'll put, like you said, sawdust and dirt, and they'll just spray water on it, and then put the pigs in like last second, so they don't have that type of thing happen. But if they're there all day and being fed, and it's just like a farm field,
it was like a big Slurpee in there, big cola Slurpee.
My brother just who's Game Changers just asked me if we could quickly go through what was in the bucket slot, the Sunny Slop bucket story real quick once more. Can you quickly rewind that and
rewind the show?
Rewind the show.
You can it's like halfway through, Matt. We'll be fine.
From the beginning, Sunny story?
No. We'll just tell him to rewind the show after it's aired. He can do it. It's fine. I will give him the timestamp. Oh,
it started with a bunch of lettuce and milk and stuff, and then he had to leave it alone. And from there, it's nothing that he was in charge of.
You watched the episode on Vice, Matt.
I told him not to mess with it, so I did my job.
If you remember the episode on Vice, Matt, Jim Cornette, he said was factually correct.
Yeah.
I know
23
DNA. 23 DNAs.
Yes.
There you go. I know we want to respect your time, sir, and I appreciate you coming on the show. So, can you talk to us? Pardon me?
I've enjoyed it.
Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you.
Can you close the show and tell us where fans can find you? Are you going to be doing some conventions? And where they can get some merchandise if they want some?
Well, we're trying to get some more merchandise together right now, but I'm done pretty much for the year. The only thing I got is after Thanksgiving in Winston-Salem, I got WrestleCade, which is always a big thing. So it's getting close to WrestleCon. It's packing some people down there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My first year was this year at WrestleCon, so that was fun.
Yeah, this will be my first time because when damn COVID hit, missed 2 years out of that. And then my mom passed away the next year. And so now I'm going to so should be fun.
Awesome. Well, Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast fans, thank you all for watching. If you're on YouTube, hit the follow button. If you're on Facebook, hit the subscribe and follow button there. We just went through an hour worth of funny stories, everywhere from car rides to Sunny Slop bucket story to Undertaker and all that good stuff that Henry O Godwinn shared with us. Stories from Vince Russo, Vince McMahon, Hunter himself, everything. I appreciate you. Go ahead.
Dusty.
And Dusty. Yes, Dusty. Yep. Named a lot of people. I would honestly tell everybody that was watching, I would be posting this on YouTube tonight. I will share it with my Facebook on his Facebook page. You don't want to miss this episode.
No.
This was fun. It was enlightening. It was interesting at that. And I am so thankful, Henry O Godwinn, that you were able to come on here. I'm blessed. Cody Cornette, thank you for coming on too. It was a good time.
We could do this for days, man. We could do this.
I know. So here's a question then. I know my brother would like to come on and talk to you too. So is there a time down the road that you'd be willing to come back in a couple months, maybe say at the end of the year?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get with you and I'll set up a time, and
maybe we could even get Phineas on here.
All right.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be sweet.
Let's shoot for mid-December.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk to Phineas and see if he'd agree, I will keep in contact with you.
Yeah, I'll get him on that. We can do that.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
All right.
We'll do it.
Awesome, man. I'm going to close the show. Please do not go anywhere, sir. I'd like to ask you a couple of questions off the camera.
All right.
So again, thanks for everybody for watching the Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. We love the opportunities we get here. We're just a bunch of guys that love the sport of wrestling and love the business, and that's what we do. So I appreciate everybody supporting us. You help us do what we're able to do. And thank you again, Mr. Godwinn, for your stories and your time. And it's Huge Pop Wrestling. That's our sign says up where we're always for life.
Father.
Sorry, guys. He's showing us this. Oh, wow.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
That's history.
Yeah. That's my
awesome.
BSK wall.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for watching.